thing. It's like, there's this giant psyop right now being done on American people that Americans don't want to work. Now, I just met a friend of mine who's trying to hire like lifeguards in Vegas, and these kids don't want to work. So there is something to that. But I'm talking about the older generation where they're like, Americans don't want to do this job, Americans don't want to do that job. And I've said here on this show before, where I'll drive through the Taco Bell drive through, and there's a 45-year-old man handing me my food. So people want to work, but they don't want to pay anybody. This is where we get into when you start to argue capitalism. What we're at right now is crony capitalism. I'm a capitalist. I love capitalism. I love pure capitalism.
We don't have it.
We don't have it right now. They are paying nothing, and that's why
it's not capitalism, Sam. It's not capitalism. John D. Rockefeller said competition is a sin. It's a sin. They all own it all. Sam, there's a thing called market share. You guys, so we can see this on the social networking side, okay? When you get to be the size of Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, when you get to be the size, how about this? Google and YouTube. What's the birthday of Google? It used to be, I don't know what it used to be, but they changed it to September 27th. What's September 27th? The birthday of the Jesuits. The birthday of the Jesuits, September 27th is when Google celebrates. Look it up, Johnny. Look it up. Now, you're going to get a lot of subterfuge. Well, it wasn't the original. They changed it. You have to type in September 27th, okay? So,
well, let me finish this point that I was making. The reason a big factor is that because they're getting paid jack shit, they are forced to live in a small area. There used to be you could move here, and there, my parents talk about my dad's whole family changed all their names. My grandpa was the only one to keep his original Italian name.
Forced assimilation.
Yep. They all changed their names, but you could come here and get a living wage. That's not happening anymore. They are sending in cheap labor that is forced to live like. There was a whole joke before that the reason that the networks and corporations loved Carlos Mencia's stand-up show is because they felt like one television was like three families because of his it was Hispanics. So they were all watching, so he thought they were big family people and they could reach more people. And that's true. You're just clumping people together that have to figure out a way to survive because no one's got money because no one's working paying jobs.
There's no doubt that the migrants, whatever you want to call them, are absolutely exploited by both sides. Absolutely exploited by both sides. But because of their background, because of how they're growing up, and Xavier Stamp, let me know if I'm off base, but the Catholic Church trains them to have a sort of especially in coming over. And the Catholic Church is helping millions of migrants come over because it serves
doing that. They got busted doing that.
Absolutely.
That priestess or whatever we're calling her that called out Donald Trump to his face, turned out her church was getting millions of dollars to help bring people in.
They are absolutely being exploited. But again, the problem is they're also being used because they're not assimilating. They're not being told. Both the government and billion, the enemy is billion. B, anything with a B.
Okay, by assimilate, what would you want them to come in there and change their last name from Gonzalez?
A process, not a wide open border. A process where you come in and you earn what is available to you. Don't just walk across and plug in. That's anybody knows that you have to, when you earn what is in front of you, it's a goal, it's a challenge. You're grateful for it. You embrace it. You love it. But when it's handed to you, you feel like you're entitled to it. So I don't want.
Okay, what about this one? What about this one? When you're getting citizenship, you can ask for it to be in Spanish. I don't think it should be in Spanish. If you want citizenship, your test should be in English, period. Done and simple. Why is it in Spanish? Why is it in Japanese? Why is it in Russian? You want citizenship? I even thought that because I've heard Mexicans like, yo, you can take it in Spanish, and I was like,
right, then why are you? How are you a citizen?
No,
how are you a
I'm
citizen? It's part, but well said, David. It's part of the assimilation process. You come in, you have to adopt. I'm not saying get rid. Trust me, I love my Italian heritage. I'm not saying get rid of that. Don't ever show that again. I'm saying you have to adopt the new heritage because why are you here? You want to be here. You want to be here. You want to become an American. There's things about America that you love. It's not just an opportunity. You see things over here and you say, I want that. And you go and you adopt that. You memorize the fact the Constitution was ratified in 1787, particularly with the Bill of Rights. You go and you become the new you, but that doesn't serve the machine. What serves the machine is divide and conquer. Do not become. They want ghettos. And of course they're not getting a wage because the dollar is worth 5 cents thanks to the Federal Reserve. After all this time, they want pockets and ghettos. And ultimately, this is an ancient military tactic, Sam, guys, an ancient. This is in the Bible. Okay, this is what Assyria did to the northern kingdom of Israel. All that thing. If you read about intermarrying. If you go and you look back, Assyria conquering the northern kingdom and forced them to break the law of Moses and intermarry. Why was that against the law? Because then they knew that they would lose their religion. They would lose and most importantly, they would lose the Messiah's bloodline, which fortunately was not the case because the Messiah's bloodline was through Judah, which is the southern kingdom. But there's a military tactic of divide and conquer, of forcibly intermingling. And taking away the identity.
100%.